What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. I feel like I ain't made a regular video in a minute. So here I am once again, addressing some BS that a rapper said, right? And this BS comes from Lil Yachty, aka Lil Boat, whose real name is Miles Parker McCullum, right? Lil Yachty is in the studio with a group of people. I think he's with a streamer, and they're live streaming, right? And he's previewing a new song that he has coming out. And in the new song, Lil Yachty has a lyric that says this, and I quote, "I put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd." Yes, that's what he said. I'm going to repeat this line again. Lil Yachty, in his upcoming song, he has a lyric that says this, "I put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd." Now, y'all, when I heard this, I said, here we go with this bullshit once again. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, this is just dumb. It's corny, it's insensitive, and it's outright weird. Like, for all the creativity that we say rappers have and what they're supposed to have, you can come up with a better lyric than this. You want to be creative in another way where you're not mocking black trauma and black pain, okay? Using police brutality as a punchline is just that, I ain't with that at all. It's lame, it's corny, and again, we have already, it's weird too, because we already have a whole bunch of white supremacists who mock George Floyd's death on a regular basis, right? They mock him. They call him a drug addict. They say he didn't die from a knee on his neck. He died from being a drug addict and drug overdosing. They say these things because they like to see black pain. They like to see black trauma. And they want to absolve Derek Chauvin from what he did, right? The white supremacists, they mock George Floyd's death on a regular basis. And here you go as a black man, having this lyric in your song, thinking it's cool, thinking it's fly. Guess a fucking again. Do something else. Come up with another bar. Come up with another bar. When I heard this, I said, I beg your pardon. This is what you wanna say in a song, bro? Get up out of here. Lil Yachty not no 17-year-old kid. He's 27 years old. He understands how ignorant this is. He understands how silly this is, and he chose to say the bar any damn way, right? But I guess, he feel like he can get away with it because Wayne had previously said things like this before, and he still gets loved and put on a pedestal and celebrated heavily. Now, you had people like me that called him out for these lines, but you had a lot of Wayne stans who refused to call him out on it and refused and acted like it was all right that he said he gonna beat that P-U-S-S-Y up like Emmett Till when he said that line. He said he was gonna beat that P-U-S-S-Y up like Emmett Till. Now, the song has since been edited, and you don't hear that lyric anymore, but he never should have said this shit in the first place, right? And that wasn't Wayne's only time using a police brutality bar, right? Using police brutality as a punchline. In Mrs. Officer, he said, "Rodney King, baby, yeah, I beat it like a cop." And I guess people thought it was cool because Rodney King didn't die from being beaten and brutalized by the police. I was going to say slaughtered, but he wasn't slaughtered because he lived. But he was brutalized, and it was horrific. He got beaten horrific fashion, and I guess people think it's a funny punchline because, and it's acceptable to say because he didn't die. Either way, man, police brutality should not be used as a bar. It shouldn't be used as a punchline in a song. It ain't funny, nor is it cool, nor is it fly to use that as a lyric at all, right? But in this case, we talking about a black man who died. Even if he didn't die, you shouldn't use it. But George Floyd lost his life at the hands of police brutality. And this is the lyric that you choosing to come up with, bro? Like, come on, man. Like, and then let me say this too. The lyric says, "Put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd." Why the hell would your knee be on a girl neck anyway? Like, what type of lyric? What is that? What are you insinuating with this lyric? What are you referencing? What are you doing? Like, is it domestic violence that you're referencing in this song? Or I'm sure he's going to say I'm figuratively speaking, like, I'm putting pressure on the girl and, I'm having my way. Or I don't know. Either way, it's just a horrible line to use. It's not cool. It's not acceptable at all. And Steven Jackson has something to say about it. And I don't agree with Steven Jackson on a lot of things. But with this, I definitely agree. It's silly. It's like, what are you doing? Like we're already in an age where in today's time, we see people like Nick Fuentes and Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder looking for ways to absolve white supremacists of racism. They're looking for ways to excuse white supremacy. They're looking for a way to act like racism, anti-black racism doesn't exist, right? They're looking for a way to make jokes out of police brutality. And here you go, giving like the okay that it's cool to mock black death and black trauma. You get what I'm saying? It's very ignorant, man. It's very ignorant. And when I heard this, man, I say, bro, what are you doing? I'm not going to even call him Lil Yachty. I'm going to call him by his real name. Miles, get your shit together. Get it together. You're too old to be getting excused for this. When I was 27 years old, I would have never said no shit like that. I'm 32 years old now. I would have never said nothing like that in no song or nothing. Literally. It's been times where, the figurative language when you say, oh man, this team putting their knee up on somebody's neck, and I've refrained from saying that. Because every time I hear that phrase, putting the knee up on somebody's neck, I think about George Floyd in that video that we all watched in agony as we watched that. We all watched in horror as we seen that. Man calling out for his mama, and the police officer taking his life. So why would you use this in a song? Do better. Do better. Because this is corny as hell, man. And who gave the okay for this to be? Like, this is how I know he hang around a lot of yes men and a lot of corny motherfuckers. Because he put this out and all of them in the studio just bobbing their head. I'm sure his friends already heard the song before and nobody told him, yeah, I don't think that's a good line for you to say. Nobody said, yeah, that's not okay. Nobody checked him and said, bro, this is corny. This is very insensitive. This is wrong. Nobody said that. Everybody just was cool with it. This is how you know he hang around a whole bunch of little ass kids, little boys, mentally, all the way around, and he hang with yes men. Because nobody told him this was wrong. Yeah, and again, he fully understands why this lyric is terrible and mocking black pain and trauma, but he chooses to use it anyway. And I don't know, man, maybe, when you got a fan base that's, I'm sure he got a fan base full of white supremacists, surely, because Lil Boat, I'm going to say this, Lil Boat, his fan base is not necessarily, he got a lot of black fans, but something about Lil Yachty tell me he got fans that love to say the N-word quite often. Something about the aesthetic of the crowd that follows him. Kind of like the aesthetic of the crowd that follows Playboy Cardi and Lil Uzi. I wouldn't be shocked if they fans just be saying the N-word loudly at their shows. Loudly in unison. Right? And we've had rappers who fans say the N-word loudly in unison at concerts, but something about them and the way they kind of come off can seem like they would be all right with it. They would be perfectly fine and accepting of it, and that's BS. But I say that to say, if you got a crowd full of people that just, you got a fan base that I feel would definitely be saying the N-word like loudly at your concert, screaming it to the top of their lungs. Yeah, if I feel like that about your fan base, I feel like I feel like you got some racist folks in your fan base. And they gonna hear that. Well, if they saying that, they racist for sure. But I lost my train of thought for a second. But yeah, when I'm hearing that, I'm like, yeah, something about the way y'all get what I'm saying, the way he's coded. It's like, yeah, he would be okay with his fans saying that at the concerts. And if they doing that, yeah, you got some racist fans. And here you go making fun or using George Floyd's death as a punchline. On YouTube, I bet you that line, a lot of the white supremacists on YouTube would get a kick out of that line. Over the last few days, I've been talking about the white supremacists that are operating all on YouTube now. I mean, they just all out in full force. Anti-black racists everywhere, all on YouTube. A lot of them have booming channels that are thriving. And those channels make fun of George Floyd. So to have Lil Yachty, a black man, who's a black musical artist, using this in his song, oh man, they gonna be like, oh yeah, well, we're not racist because this black man, Lil Yachty, he said it in his song, he used it as a punchline. See, he thinks it's funny too. Corny ass shit, man. I don't know, man. He got to get checked. And I don't know how anybody that's around him didn't check him. Excuse me for losing my train of thought in the middle of the video, because I'm fresh off work. It's early in the morning. But I had to give y'all this content because when I saw this on the way home this morning. And I'm like, yeah, this annoys me. Let me go ahead and talk about this. But rappers like him got to get checked from doing silly stuff. They got to get called out and shamed so that they never do it again. They need that. So he needs to get called out. And Steven Jackson called him out, but even his fans should call him out. Let him know this is not okay. Because there's certain things they would never say about other communities at all. Or they never would say certain stuff about other communities. They never would say certain words and certain things about other communities. But when it comes to your own people, here you go, making fun of black pain or using black pain as a punchline, as a bar. Like, nah. Especially when we know somebody died, somebody was unalived in the situation. You talking about a situation where a black man had his life taken from him by law enforcement, and you using that as a lyric, as a lyric or a metaphor in a song. I don't like that. It's very distasteful. Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm out, y'all. Peace.